Happy Thumbs Gaming. Big show.
Hey, what's up everybody? It's HTG Brian here. We have another LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens video for you today. This one happens to be Dakwar Free Roam. That's right, we get 41 total gold bricks throughout this area. In fact, each of the items and quests that we complete along the way will all give us a gold brick. So, you know how we love us some gold. Hey, if you're ready to get things rolling, let's go ahead and get to getting. We're going to start things off from the Millennium Falcon Hub area. And of course, we're going to need to address the galaxy map in order to go ahead and make our way to Dakwar. In fact, we're going to go ahead and do a little jig here, dance and jump and shout for joy because we have completed all of the story and free play. So let's go ahead and choose Dakwar and we'll land there. Now, I do want to tell you that I had issues with the waypoint markers on the map. I found that when I loaded from anywhere other than the actual Dakwar area, it would not work. So I loaded to Dakwar, quit, and then reloaded the game, which spawned me here. And that allowed it to work. I know that's kind of confusing, but basically travel there, save and quit, and then restart the game, and you should spawn here. And that actually worked for the waypoint marker for me. Now, to get things started, we're actually going to do the scattered quest. There's a couple of items that are kind of scattered over. This one in particular happens to be some generators. We need to smash and rebuild these generators scattered. So here's the second of 3. And the first one you saw me, it was just straight across from where we spawned over in the cantina, right outside the cantina, that is. And the last one is all the way down, kind of on the left-hand side, right past the final building or barracks. Once you get them all built up, we get that gold brick. And hey, we're off and running just like that. We've got our first gold brick, only 40 more to go. The next one's going to be another scattered one. We've got a bunch of gunk droids that need to be built up. In fact, there are 5 of them in total. The first 2 are at the very end of the area from where you spawn. You can see we've got 1 and 2, one on either side of the area. The next one is actually going to be kind of behind the Millennium Falcon. In fact, the waypoint marker, as you might have noticed, it's not working on the map. I'm actually targeting areas, and it's not like giving me the little marker. And, well, if it is, it won't be soon. Let's put it that way. However, the waypoint, the stud trail, the guide is actually there. And look at that. I was totally all over the place. And look at that. I built it. It's standing behind those 3 or 4 guys. I guess they're Awakens. Oh, and look at that. I am actually getting the marker right now. So it will not last the entire time, at least not the whole free roam. We certainly had major issues with it on Jakku as well. So that'll be coming up in another video, of course. But hey, we've got our next target and we're moving along. We got to find this next gunk droid. Where are you at? Where are you at? And nope, he's not in here. Now, I got to be honest. I love this game. I've had a blast with it. The free roam seems to be a little scattered, or maybe it's just me. And part of it might be because there are so many stinking collectibles. You can see I was off just a little bit of the location of where that 4th gunk droid is. The 5th one's going to be all the way kind of back where we started by the original race. But yeah, I had some problems. This isn't my best free roam, guys, so hopefully it'll provide instruction. Hey, just a reminder, too, we have quick links that'll get you through to all of these collectibles, so maybe you don't need gold bricks, maybe you just need Carbonite bricks. If that's the case, feel free to go ahead and target those in the video description and click those links to get you there quickly. Meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and target some satellites. There is another scattered puzzle that requires multiple items throughout the area. So we're going to go ahead and start off on the very top of the command center base and switch on over to our favorite Roundhound BB-8. That's right, now we just got to hop on and get our rotary on. And look at that. All you have to do is simply spin that satellite around and then find the next 4, which we're going to show you where they all are right now. See those 2 silos down there on the left-hand side of the airfield? Well, that's where the next one's going to be, and they're pretty easy to find. But, hey, that's what we're here for, to show you and guide you to them, right? Right? All right. Next one is going to be simply right across the street here. Pretty easy peasy lemon squeezy. So yeah, we've got, what, another 35 minutes or so of collectibles, and we want to make this as enjoyable as possible. So hopefully this will all work out, and you guys will get all the collectibles. We were a little unsure of how it was going to work out. At the very end, we do a little check. It all works out, and we are good to go. So let's go ahead and find that fifth and final satellite, which is all the way down at the end of the airstrip. Whoa, did you see that bounce? That was crazy. I didn't really think about it, but I guess, you know, balls, when thrown from high surfaces, do bounce when they hit the ground, and BB-8's definitely partially a ball. So, all right, here's the final one just to the side of the race there, and booyaka show! Gold brick number 3 is officially ours. So, number 4, let's see here. I gotta be honest, I had a heck of a time. So, I hadn't played any free roam at all yet. And I kind of was just so caught up in everything else, I wasn't sure how to spawn a vehicle, right? Pretty funny, huh? You should have heard how hard Dougie laughed when I called him. And luckily, I actually figured it out when I called him and the phone was ringing. And I figured it out right then. I thought, well, you know, maybe it's there because the extras are there and the character select. Oh, there it is. And if you don't know, it's actually on the old character select wheel there. So press the triangle or Y button, whichever it is for you, and it should pop up there. But yeah, right behind where we were on that race, there is actually a scan point, and we're going to go ahead and scan that with the quadnoculars from Han Solo, switch on over to Chewie, and hurl one of his thermal detonators to blow up the wall and collect a gold brick. So, okay. Remember I was talking about a little unsure of like how everything works in my free roam and a little bit, maybe a little user error issue and not so much the game? Well, so I'm targeting things at this point that I'm still not even sure what they are. I'm just kind of like, ooh, there's an icon, let's tag it. So I tagged it and I got upstairs, and really what I tagged was a character that is inside the barracks below me for purchase. But it took me to a gold brick up top here, which requires the force, and I have to move these 3 items from the grassy area back onto the picnic area. And once I get all 3 of them, look at that. He gets all excited, gets to eat his lunch, and booyaka show! He gives us a gold brick. I'm not quite sure where that brick came from, but we won't ask any questions, at least not for now. All right, next gold brick is actually right around the corner from us, right down below. In fact, it appears as though it might even be inside the barracks, and yes, it is. So check this out. There's actually 2 terminals here. One requires a resistance character, so luckily for us, we had Han Solo out. And really all you need to do here is match up the puzzle pieces, and it'll spew out some studs and, of course, open the door, giving us a gold brick. Look at that. Oh, watch out. Whoa, what's going on? That was kind of bright. I don't know if that's like a photo booth or what that is, but kind of cool. We'll go ahead and switch on over to a droid. It does not have to be C-3PO, but it has to be one who can speak different languages. In fact, there's a few of those droids out there, but 3PO being the easiest one to get, so we're going to go ahead and match up those colors, which opens the door. And look at that. We've got a nice hallway that connects one area to another. That's right. So I get a little confused. I was like, gosh, is this a underground area that I haven't seen yet, or is this actually on the other side over here? So I make my way all the way over here, but it turns out it's the command center base where Leia is, where the bounty hunter mission is. There's some other stuff in there too, but we're going to kind of try to keep it in an orderly fashion here. We're trying to get them in kind of a, I don't know, swooping motion. It's a little bit more difficult than you might think, though. But, all right. The Force. We need to use the Force in the front right corner of the original room we went into, which was the far end on the left side from the spawn. And, yeah, we used the Force. We gave a little shocking wake-up call there, and for whatever reason, he plopped out a gold brick, and we accepted it. So, again, not asking questions, just want that gold brick. But, all right. We got a couple of quests. Here we go. Let's go ahead and get to getting. This one is a general mission. Now, there are a couple of these. These are basically just missions that don't require any specific character type. So any character should be able to start this up. And all of a sudden, look at this. It actually takes us away. And I have removed all of the loading sequences. And just in case you're wondering, yes, I have sped this video up. I probably should have mentioned that a little bit earlier. But this actually, got to figure, this was a long video. It's got 45 minutes or so of runtime as it sits. And trust me, it was like an hour and 20 minutes with all the loading sections and not being sped up. And yeah, a couple of mistakes along the way too, you know. Not that I make mistakes, but yeah. So you can see here, the task is simply to take out some fighters. I think it started with 15 different ones. And now, look, I'm not the greatest pilot in the Resistance. There's no question. I'm certainly no Poe Dameron. But I'm getting her done. I am getting her done. But once I get through that first initial wave of 15, it actually kicks out another wave of 10. And if I remember correctly, these guys are a little bit beefier and take a little bit more firepower to take down. And on top of that, the original wave of fighters that we were taking out is also out there. So those will not count to your overall total. Only the ones marked with the red markers will count. So if there's other guys flying around shooting at you, don't waste any time with those guys. Just simply go for the ones that are marked. And if I'm being honest, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there aren't any extra ones here. Maybe that's later, which is possible. I have kind of mashed everything together. I did a bunch of playing and a bunch of editing, and now I'm doing the audio, so hopefully it'll all make sense to everybody but me, because it doesn't make sense to me. No, I'm just kidding. It does. It does. But I'm just killing time. Dead airspace. Not dead. Well, these guys are once I'm done with them, and we are in airspace. Whoa, look at this guy. Hey, buddy, you're in my... Speaking of airspace, you're in my space here. You're inside my bubble, buddy. One left. Oh, I saw an injured, a wounded pilot, and there he goes. Oh, booyakashow. As soon as you get them all completed, it'll load us back to Daqua, and he'll go ahead and give us a little speech, and of course, give us that gold brick. Now, I got to tell you, I had quite a few issues with the quests on Jakku. When I would return from completing a quest, sometimes it would take almost a minute before they would give me the speech and the gold brick, and I'd start to panic. But, all right, right next to where we were, there is another quest. This one happens to be a translate or droid mission, and, of course, C-3PO is going to be the one to select. Well, of course, there are the other guys, but, you know, he's the easiest. We've already gone over this. We just went over this a minute ago. But go ahead and accept the mission. And this one, it does not take us away. It actually just loads us into this quick little session where we have to hop in Poe's. Well, I guess it might not be Poe's X-Wing, but it looks like it. It's blue. And what we got to do is fly around up and down on the old landing strip here and take out 3 TIE fighters. So 2 of them are down towards the spawn entrance, and a couple of them, or the last one, excuse me, is on the opposite end. So once you get them all done, we're going to go ahead and get that gold brick and check off another quest. So woohoo, go ahead and jump for joy. And look at this, I got all excited. I'm like, yes, I got myself an X-Wing. I can go do this race now. And guess what? You actually need Poe Dameron's X-Wing for that, and apparently that's not Poe. So we're going to go ahead and come back to that later. We do the races at the end. Don't worry, we do get them done. But, hey, look at this. Next up, we have another Resistance mission. So we'll go ahead and step into the Swakel and press the Swakel button. And look at that. We've got Mon Calamari, which is, I believe, stands for Cousin Squid. Isn't that what Mon Calamari is? I don't know. But he tells us that there's some fighters that actually need a little bit of an eye-opener here. They think they're all tough and awesome, but really they're just a bunch of weaklings. So we're going to go ahead and cha-cha-cha-cha-cha and tell them what's up. And then as it turns out, there's actually a couple of sessions of this, and it takes me a second to figure that out. I see the arrow pointing on the right side of my screen, but I wasn't sure if that was actually targeting the next part of this, which, guess what? It was. So I get on over there, and I give these boys some dance lessons too. Pow! Right in the kissa. And look at that, knocked out. Tweet, 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 tweet. Hey, get your hands off my droid. I'm the only one that can smack my droid around. Don't you know how this works? Owner's rights, buddy. Owner's rights. All right, he's down for the count. 2 down, 1 to go. So these guys are supposed to be the best fighters. I guess they get a little bit more difficult the further you go down the old airstrip here. Oh, look at that. I got blue stud trail taking me there. Now, hey, I did not purchase the red brick for collect guide studs. You could certainly be making a lot more quiche than I am. I'm simply just really, at this point, studs are kind of overrated for me. I have over 1 billion studs, and I can't imagine that the characters are going to cost that much, because really, that's all I have money left for. Well, yeah, that's it. I guess we don't have to buy the old vehicle tokens, right? So, all right, all of those bad guys have been removed. We get a nice little speech from Senior Squid back there, and then it takes us back. What's this? What the heck? I forgot to remove that loading sequence. So apparently I was wrong when I said all loading sequences have been removed. I guess there's a couple just at the end of the mission. That one was actually a little bit longer than I would have preferred. But hey, we got that gold brick. Now, all right, this is another funny one. Now, you won't be able to tell because I edited it out, but this next general mission back here in the left-hand corner, let's see, I think I go for the general mission next, right? Or we go to Carbonite brick next. All right, we're going to go Carbonite brick next, but then there's a mission over in the corner that I go take on. And it's pretty funny because I had no clue how to do it. No clue. But, all right. Thermal imploder inside, or detonator, whichever you want to call it, and it goes ahead and makes that silver bricks go big bada boom, and look at that, it leaves a carbonite brick left in the room. So we'll go ahead and swoop that up, and now we're going to target that general mission just outside of the barracks here. So look at this, we're going to go around the side, and this one actually requires BB-8. So switch on over to the round hound and get the challenge started. Now, you might have been able to tell right there, I did do an edit. There were some studs on the left-hand side that disappeared during the opening sequence. But so basically what you need to do here is you need to press the attack button, which is square for us. I guess it could be X, potentially, for you Xboxers. And you just need to press and hold it. And BB-8 does this, like, charge. In fact, he does this cool little sound effect. It's like, whoa! And then he takes off and he goes and he plows through all those. But I'm being honest, it took a couple of tries, 2 or 3 attempts. I thought I was just supposed to do a butt slam and it was going to take it out. No such luck. You have to do the old charge move. And I don't mean the shocking charge. I mean the old head down and charge it up. So here we go. Inside the barracks that we were just in a second ago, we find that there is a mission inside here. In fact, it is a resistance mission, which just simply requires us to go ahead and target these crazy-looking holograms. Looks like there's 10 altogether. Once you take them all out, it will go ahead and reward us with a gold brick. All right, count it down with me. 3, 2, 1. That's right. We took out all those holograms, and now we're being rewarded. Did you notice Luke in the background was jumping for joy? Oh, there we go. I was going to say, come on, Luke. Twins, Bezel. Normally twins kind of function on the same wavelength or thinking pattern, but took the Luke being discussed with there to kind of catch on. Oh, hey, check this out. Remember, the yellow zone is for balancing only. And look at that. We have officially activated some sort of moving thing in the back of the targeting area. And oh, look at that. There's bullseyes on it. In fact, there are 3. So go ahead and get your blast on and take all 3 out. And look at that. It is magnetically dragging a carbonite brick across the back. So we'll go ahead and make our way in there and pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up. All right, so we are officially done with this barracks. Oh, look at that. I got distracted. It was like a little popper, like a party popper there. And next up is another gold brick, but it happens to be in the next building rooftop. So we're going to go ahead and make our way down, which actually requires us to use a stairway in the back. Now, if I remember correctly, which is probably not, but if I do, I am not going to get this next one right away. Oh, nope, it's another one that I was thinking of. This one here is actually inside the barracks. My bad. In fact, it's all the way, well, not all the way. It's on the left-hand side. There's a couple of them that we're going to take on in here. But this next one actually requires a double grapple plug. So we need to switch to dual grapplers. So we got Han and Leia, and we're going to go ahead and spam that button until we rip open the cage. Look at that. There's cobwebs in there. It looks like the kitchen sink potentially. And, oh, a carbonite brick. So we'll go ahead and grab that and pick up that gold too. And then I look over and I'm like, wait a minute. I targeted that gold brick on top. I got to get up there. But it's not on top. It's actually on the side. So look at this. This one was a tricky one. You just got to go stand in the bush and wait for the icon to pop up, assuming you have a grappler out. So there we go. My bad for switching those up. Like I said, this wasn't the easiest. They're so clumped together in such a small area that it's real easy to mix and match and mess them up. So, all right, now we'll go ahead and use the stairs to go up top. And look at that. We actually have to drop down into this little cubby hole. And, oh, we need a first order person here. So I thought for sure Finn would do the job, but check this out. Nope, turns out we need somebody else. So we're going to switch to FN2199, who also has that pretty sweet baton that can bash through broken or cracked walls. And, yeah, so he's going to be able to get the chat on here, and all of a sudden we find ourselves taken away and completing a mission. So if you have already done this, this will be a good time to remind you. We do have quick links down below in the video description. The next one up is going to be gold brick number 10. Otherwise, go ahead and let's do this race. Watch this. I'm pretty sure I messed this up and I have to start this race over again. One of these races I totally mess up. That was a close one. No, but it's not this one. I think I actually complete this one. One of the races along the way, though, it takes me away to another area, and then I totally fail, and then I have to start over. I get it done, though. It's not like I totally fail, but I missed the first one. Whoa! That was some good shooting, Tex. I was blasting by you going through that, and somehow you got me. All right, once you get through that Poiple, it seems like it's over, but it's not. You actually have to take out 20, looks like TIE fighters, and they might even be the Imperial TIE fighters. I can't tell. They're coming by so fast. So fast. And plus, my preview window for my editor is not very big. So, yeah, I know some of you guys are watching this full screen or maybe on your nice, pretty smartphone, but my screen is actually smaller than pretty much any smartphone, unless you got an old flip phone. If you got an old flip phone, we might be competing for the same screen size, but... All right, 9 more to go. Again, it's been proven that I am not the greatest pilot in the Resistance. However, as time goes on, I am getting a little bit better. Certainly better than some of those story attempts when I was having to go through it. Gosh, some of those were kind of painful and long, but... All right, speaking of painful and long, we are officially over the halfway point of this video, which hopefully is not painful, but is extremely long, at least in the sense of our recent videos. I know that some of our earlier LEGO videos, a lot of them were 30, 35 minutes long. That includes some of the stories and some of the free plays, too. That's before we started speeding them up, and oh, man, some of the early day stuff, that was crazy. We'd speed up stuff 5 times and other stuff not at all. That was confusing, huh? Good thing we got it all figured out. We got it smooth. But, all right, jump for joy once it's all completed, and we're going to go ahead and target the next gold brick, which happens to be right up on top here. However, well, there's a lot of confusing stuff going on. So there's one up on top, but it actually requires us to go to the far right to get it. But when we go to the far right, we pick up another one. So we're going to come down here and mess with this next one, which actually requires Princess Leia's hair. Now, as it turns out, we have Leia, but this is the old Leia. The old Leia has a different hairstyle than the young Leia. So what we need to do here is actually smash and rebuild these bits on the right-hand side of the door, and it's actually going to give us a hat dispenser. Now, you probably noticed I pulled out Finn. I totally thought Finn had to go into that gas on the left-hand side, so that's why that is. But hey, doesn't Finn look rather nice with Leia hair? I think so. But what's going to happen here is once we get a correct scan, it's going to go ahead and open the door. And look at that. There's a nice poster. Oh, look at that. Talk about photobomb. She's getting blasted with an ice cream cone. You can't even see Leia's face. What a crock. But just to the left of that, there's actually a handle you can jump up and pull down. Once you do, it removes that gases. Oh, look at that. So basically, we just turned on the fan, and it looks like Chewie dropped a patootie. You know, or a PUE, I guess, would probably be a better way. But we go ahead and turn on the fan by flipping that switch, and we are able to get in there. And looks like we dug that gold brick out of the toilet, too, assuming that's what that is. That is a commode, right? Anyhow, all right, we're going to switch to a character that has the Force, and we're going to use it to manipulate this X-Wing to take out that giant, well, I don't know if that's the Finalizer, the Starbase Destroyer, what it is, Star Killer Base, whatever. It's one of those big man-made planets. But we take that out, and next, we're going to go target, remember I was telling you up above, there's that weird one over on the far right side that we need to grab something for the one right above where we are. You remember I was just telling you that? Maybe use a quick link. Maybe you didn't hear me. Maybe you weren't paying attention when I did say it. But what we're going to do here is we're going to skip this one right here, and we're going to jump and go across this little, well, I guess it's a pipe here. It's got a weird little ramp on top, but on top of the ramp / pipe, there is a gold brick. It happens to be number 13. We're going to keep on keeping on and make our way across. Try not to fall off, because that would be, well, disappointing, I guess, right? Probably take up a little extra time, have to come all the way across there again. And all right, so next up is this guy here. We're going to have to go ahead and take out this gold. Now, as it turns out, remember I told you you had to come over here to get something for that watering one over there? Wrong. You actually have to go to the other building on the other side. So I totally skipped that watering the garden one because I thought the handle was right over here where we are. But as it turns out, it's not. But we're going to go ahead and melt that gold item and then dive into the pool, which I got to say, Akbar looks pretty sweet with the Leia hair too. And once we get that, so I'm looking all over. I'm like, where in the heck is that crank wheel? We need that crank wheel. So I just went into panic mode, and I dropped down below, and I just keep on keeping on here, which the next one is actually requiring a flame trooper. We need to go ahead and melt this ice, which I thought for sure we'd need to stop the flowing cool air from coming and getting him. But it turns out you just have to melt the ice, and look at that. He jumps for joy, and he runs off, and look at that. Apparently he's immune to fire, but gets trapped in ice. That's kind of a weird superhero feature to have. But next up is this cracked wall right next to us. It's right in between the two buildings here. And of course, we're going to kick out the wall with Kenton Strider. That's right, we're going to kick things off and rip open that gold brick. Most of the time, Kenton gets to destroy walls, but he does not get to collect things because the doors are often too small for him to get into. So that was very nice. He got to actually be a part of both sides of things. And check it out. Next up, another BB-8 charge mission, and I don't mean like shocking electric charge. I mean like head down and rolling. And look at that, 7, 8, 9, booyakashow. Once you get all 9 under the time frame, you're gonna go ahead and be rewarded with that gold brick and be done with that general mission, which happens to be number 3. So moving along and back to this gold brick. Now this is the watering gold brick up above where we have to water the garden. Now I wasn't sure which character I wanted to roll up there, and it turns out BB-8's a little fast, but check this out. He kind of has low clearance there. He can't quite get up the stairs while he's moving fast. But hey, we're a mover and a shaker, and next we need a silver brick breaker, because we're going to go ahead and take on this mess of a garden over here, which needs to be watered. But more importantly, after some more musical characters there, switching back and forth, sorry about that, we're going to switch to a character that can hurl out a thermal detonator. And look at that, it has blown up that silver block and given us the crank wheel needed in order to go ahead and turn on the water over here. So, woohoo! Guess what? Water for you! And look at that. Pump it up, pump it up, pump it up, and psh, 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 psh. That's right. And I almost missed the gold brick sprouting out from the middle of the garden there, but I got the camera over there just in time. And then look at me, I totally ruined Buddy's garden. Ooh, that's right. Chewy was not happy with the quality of your garden, so we just went ahead and took it out for you. Next up is an actual BB-8 mission over on the top there, but I fell off and kind of panicked, and I make my way all the way around the corner here and find out that there's only one way up, and I failed at it. So I turn around and I go inside. But all right, check this out. There is a gold brick right here that I have targeted on the map, and I just want to point this out because I know that at least one other gamer has experienced this, and it keeps showing up there, and it's like, wait a minute, where is it? But it's actually related to a quest that starts somewhere else. Notice it's not there now, but it was there, and it's not there. It's there now. I don't know. Anyhow, we're going to switch to a character that has the lightsaber ability, and we're going to go ahead and carve open this door here while we're inside what is, I believe, called the cantina. And we'll slide on inside with a droid because they are, well, they don't freeze. They don't freeze up when it gets cold. So we're going to go ahead and use BB-8. And then now we're going to target this next gold brick, which is actually the one on top of the right barracks roof. But you need to use that weird little platform thing, kind of the pipe that connects barracks 2 to barracks 3, or I guess barracks 1 to barracks 2, depending on which way you're counting down the way here. But, all right, we're going to go up and around, and check it out. We're going to go over to the right, and we're going to do this BB-8 general mission. This one is just like the others. You simply need to put your head down and get your charge on. So press the square button, and it's kind of squirrely. I won't lie. It is a bit of a task controlling this crazy round hound, but just make sure you don't fall off the edge. That is the only important factor. You should have plenty of time to get them all otherwise. And look at that. Booyakashow. And I'm being honest, I actually did that in my first try. After figuring out how to do those missions, I succeeded at them quite greatly from there on out. Now, here we are. We're looking at this gold brick that is appearing to be on top of or inside this barracks. And if you notice on my little compass there, it's actually behind me and to my left, which kind of guarantees that it's not inside that dive pool. But I wasn't convinced at this point because it keeps popping up and going away. And again, I'm still just kind of like, where is it? Or I should say, which way did it go? Which way did it go? So you can see it's there again now, but I can't seem to find any kind of sign of where it is. So we're going to drop down and we're going to target this gold. I don't know what it is. It looks kind of suspect if you ask me, but we take it out. We get that gold brick. We're going to go investigate inside the cantina one more time to see what's going on. In fact, I even take out all the stuff here thinking, gosh, I got to be able to build something or something. It's not on the roof. I don't need the force. I was so confused. Look, it's not back here in this corner, but there you can see it on my compass in the back right. So here we go. We have figured out that it is related to another mission, but we're not going to do that mission right this second. So we faded out. It was a little confusing. We were inside the cantina. All of a sudden, we're on top of the cantina. Hopefully, that didn't throw you off too bad. But basically, what we're doing is we're going for this weird kind of... I don't know what it is. It's this weird tank, and on top of the tank, there is a dive pool. So, as you can see, we use the old flight pad there to go ahead and jump up. In fact, doing a backwards jump actually will help you get a little bit of distance, but of course, an agile character like Rey or Luke Skywalker will certainly help get you up there. But next up is actually a gold brick, which just simply requires a butt slam and some building of the parts. And look at that. We've found our parts. We're going to go ahead and build up. Ooh, it's a charge panel. So you know what that means. We're going to switch on over to the round town and get our balance on. And just in case you forgot, the yellow zone is for balancing only. Once you get it all balanced out there, it's going to charge up this thruster. It's going to suck in a bunch of, I don't know what those were. If those were robots, if they were, I don't know what they were. We'll have to go back and look at that and check that out. But it pukes out a gold brick for us too, and that happens to be gold brick number 19. So we are making extremely good ground. In fact, we only got about 10 minutes left or so of actual game time. But next up is actually inside the comm center where we actually spawn. So we finally made it all the way back, and check it out. We've got ourselves a resistance mission. This one simply requires us to, well, this one actually takes us to Star Killer Base. I was super confused when I did this one for the first time. I was like, wait a minute, why am I here? And as it turns out, you can easily get distracted and wander off and start collecting things for the Star Killer Base free roam, or hub area, whichever you prefer to call it. Really, the key here is to take out this group and then the second group in this blaster battle. Once both groups have been taken out, you simply run to the back and enter the building doors here. And check it out. It takes us into this room. And once we get inside here, there's this weird object floating around. And I'm sure it told us what it was, but I have no clue what it is. So I'm sure you'll drop some comments down below and let me know, because you guys are always good about that. And later I'm always like, oh yeah, that's right, that's what that is. But hey, collect your gold brick, jump for joy, and we're going to go ahead and target a carbonite brick, which is over just on the other side of the same area. Now, this one actually requires the use of our round hound. So what's up, BB-8? We're going to go ahead and use this astromech panel and match up these shapes. So booyakashow, we got those all matched up. Once that happens, a hologram pops up in the middle here. We're going to actually need to use the force to move that out. And check it out. We got ourselves a real carbonite brick. It's like the Pinocchio story of carbonite bricks. And look at that. We jump for joy, grab our gold brick, and now we've got a bounty hunter mission. Now, we have Athgar Heese, which we picked up from one of the new Star Wars adventure levels. And it turns out we're going to go ahead and do this crazy mission for this guy. And yep, we'll accept. We are not afraid. And now we just need to follow the guide trail over to the cantina. Now, if I'm being honest, I thought this was somehow related to the gold brick that we were missing because of the location of it. And although it is extremely close and could be considered as a contender for that, it is not. But what we need to do is get over here and get to that scan point. Now, I'm giving Athgar Heese a lot more credit than I should, because I, for some reason, think he has the scanning ability. So I sit there and I hurl a couple grenades thinking that I can scan before I realize I need Han Solo and the quadnoculars. And look at that, the guy on the end, as if we needed the quadnocs to discover that he was the odd man out. And once we get a proper scan, we actually send in the troops, and guess what? We take him away. That's right. Actually, he sends in some bad guys, and we have to fight these guys. There's another one later that we actually go and find some traders. In fact, there's 3 sets of traders, but that's on Jakku. That's not it. That's not in Daqua. But look at that. We have officially taken out the bad guys after we revealed the traitor, I guess it was. And look at that. Now we officially will get credit for this mission, and of course collect our gold brick. which is, we're almost to 100 gold bricks. Look at that. We are getting down there, aren't we? I don't know what I was going to say there. I was going to say getting's the getting, but that almost doesn't make much more sense than what I had said previously to. I'm done. Forget about it. All right, so this one up here. On top, there is this satellite. Just to the left of the satellite, there's this weird kind of antenna, and there happens to be 3 Minox on it. Shoot all 3 Minox off and watch the satellite change positions, and this cinematic scene pans the camera, and guess what? Look where that gold brick is. It is exactly where that icon has been leading us this whole time. And if that is not a confusing gold brick, I don't know what is. A lot of you use that gold brick detector, and I can imagine the gold brick detector was pointing at this gold brick, not at the Minox. And I can imagine that was extremely frustrating trying to find that. In fact, shout out to Scott. One of our viewers had contacted me on Facebook, and we were watching, or I was playing this and trying to figure out how to get through this. And I told him, hey man, have you watched that little video in there where you have to shoot the Minox? And after a couple of trial and error things, we figured it out finally. And Scott got the 100% for this area and was able to move on. So, like I said, congrats on that, Scott. I was glad I was able to help out, even though I didn't have the answer right away. But eventually we found it. And speaking of finding it, down in the corner, just in the little gully right past the old satellite where the Minox just were, there is a silver tower down there. We're going to destroy that and collect our gold brick. And then it looks like we actually missed one back over by the Millennium Falcon when we were zigging and zagging earlier. So we'll go ahead and drop down right in front and check this out. It is a charge panel. So switch on over to BB8 and get your charge on. Or hey, let's go old school. Let's go ahead and pump it up real quick. And look at that. It does pump it up. It actually sends the charge into the Falcon. And, ooh, we have green light, which gave us that gold brick. We'll take it. We'll take it. Now, next up, we've got ourselves a race. You couldn't see, but right here, I actually did an edit. Well, maybe you could. There was a little jump there. I did an edit. I actually paused it there and called Dougie, and that's when I figured out how to spawn these microfighters. And so, yeah, we officially spawned Poe's Blue X-Wing. And this is a squirrely too. This is crazy squirrely. In fact, I got distracted by the mission there. The blue arrow targeted the close by mission, and I almost messed that up. That was pretty close to having to start over, but I got lucky and I make it all the way through and race complete. And look at that, backwards man, backwards man. I can drive backwards fast as you can. You know, I've dropped that line quite a few times in quite a few different movies or playlists. Nobody has given me the actual movie that came from. That's a pretty big scene in an old comedy movie. The backwards man, the backwards man. You can list that down below. There might be like a pat on the back virtually or something for you. I don't know. Maybe even a sticker, depending on how you answer. If you answer on Facebook, I might be able to provide a sticker. If you answer on YouTube, it's harder to get information from people. So just a little word to the wise. Facebook, if you really want some HTG swag. Oh, secret's out the bag now. Hopefully, watch out, we're getting tons of messages now on Facebook. But all right, we have accepted this general mission, which was right in the middle of the runway there, kind of on the opposite side of where we spawn, or right side, or farther side, north side, depending on how you're looking at it. And once we accepted the mission, it has taken us up into space. Now, we've been here before. I do believe that we actually took out... what did we free here? Well, there's a bunch of Minox that were trapped. We had to use proton torpedoes and take out these giant crystals in one of the levels. I can't remember which one it was, but I'm sure it was related to Jakku. So anyhow, there is a significant amount of ships you need to take out. Simply target the ships with the red reticles around them, and once you take them all out, we return and jump for joy. And, of course, we get that gold brick. Now check it out. There's only one race left. We are actually all the way through Daqua, and who knows, you probably already knew how to spawn vehicles and probably did this race a lot sooner than I did. But hey, we saved the best for last. We're going to go ahead and roll all the way down and spawn. In fact, we're going to spawn the same thing. We're a creature of habit, so we're going to go ahead and spawn that blue X. Oh, look at this. The Round Hound's taking it for a spin. And this one is just another simple race. Woohoo! Look at that air drift. And all right, we're all the way down to one end, bust a Yui, and turn back. And as long as you can do it within the time frame, you should get that gold brick, or as we like to say, gold brick. Oh, one more time, backwards man, backwards man. All right, so just to prove to you that we have completed this area, we're going to take a quick peek. We do not see any active gold bricks or missions needed. So let's take a look at the galaxy map and look at that 66, 42, 42, 202, 202, 101, 303, 101, and 101. Whew! That was a lot. Speaking of a lot, that was 40 minutes of flapping my yapper almost. Holy cannoli. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful and useful. To be completely honest with you, I'm getting ready to take off on my vacation, so it's going to be a day or two before the next video releases. Of course, that depends on when you're watching this. If you're watching this on the release day, it'll probably be Friday of this week before we have any more videos pop up. I'm sorry, but it's family time. I got to check out and go do the family thing. So, you know me, family first. But hey, if you guys have any questions, comments, or suggestions for us, head on over to Facebook, Twitter, or simply comment, vote, subscribe down below. HappyThumbsGaming.com is the home of our viewing... Wait. Our viewing? No, your viewing pleasure. And it's also the home of our product and game reviews and trophy achievement guides. Holy cow, I messed that up, didn't I? I was looking at the timeline going, woohoo, I'm out of here. I'm almost get to go on vacation. And I totally botched the ending. So, oh, well, I can't win them all. And hopefully this video was not a complete mess. Like I said, 42 different objects collecting in one swoop. That's pretty crazy. So, like I said, hopefully it all made sense, and you use those quick links to get through to those collectibles you needed, and O to the yeah. As for me, that's going to do it until Friday, at least. As always, until next time. And the winner for the worst video outro of Happy Thumbs Gaming goes to... Daquar Free Roam. Sorry about that, but...